Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to Fire Talk flight number 20. On this flight, you'll notice that open carry is allowed, so is defending yourself. Although, to the soccer hooligans in the back, um, you might want to keep it down a notch because, you know, we do have a couple people from Wisconsin riding up front that might have a little problem with that whole hooligan thing going on. Put your tray tables up, your peanuts in your pocket. Make sure that they're stashed there. Everybody better be wearing a pocket on their shirt. If not, you may be ejected from the plane as we are flying over land or water. We do have that ejection chute open now. I'd also like to let you guys know that we will not be serving coffee on this flight as all of the coffee beans have been confiscated thanks to a new virus that's come out called the moronic virus. And we can't be serving these coffee beans and serving the coffee because you never know when the moronic virus could infect people. Uh, so if you did not bring your own water, you might have to share with your neighbor and get the bourbon that he stashed away in his pants. All right. Thank you again and enjoy the flight.
I can only count to four. I can only count to four. I can only count to four. I can only count to.
Ryan, we're back again.
Whoa. Yeah. It's been a couple weeks.
We're like that STD you got in college that every time you think you got it to stay away, it just comes back even 15, 20 years later.
That's herpes.
Like I said, you should get that checked out again though.
Oh man, did you know Psycho Stick's working on a new album?
No.
Oh yeah. Can't wait.
Okay.
So watch Spotify. It will drop eventually. When it does, it's going to be delicious, and I hope to play it around.
So this during the break, one of the reasons that we had the break is it's hunting season. And so I was up at the cabin and my son, who now listens to Psycho Stick with me.
Does he?
Yeah. And he just finds it funny is what it is. He loves it
Well, that's the
because
whole
he's
point
like,
of it.
yeah, he's like it's hilarious, especially to a 10-year-old. Everything is hilarious to a 10-year-old, and I think they're great. They're funny. They rock hard. And then so he loves it. But we were get over the air television. And have you watched over the air television in the last like 5 years or so?
No,
No.
I have not.
Okay. So thanks to HD, TV stations, like you have one TV station, but they're no longer one TV station. It's like like say the TV station is 5. Now they have 5.1, which is their main station, and then 5.2, which is like another station, 5.3. So
Yeah.
they and most of what they play are like old sitcoms, Brady Bunch and
That works.
stuff like that. Well, the CBS station where our cabin is, because we get no internet, our cell service sucks. Like you have to basically stand outside in the middle of the winter to get decent service. We're watching, and the CBS station was playing MacGyver. Like just one of their stations was playing MacGyver
Yeah.
over and over. And my son said, because he was getting into the MacGyver song, the intro.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun. He's like, Psycho Stick really needs to make a song out of this.
I don't. I mean, if we can get them on, we'll definitely pitch them that idea of the old '80s MacGyver theme song. Hey, you should take this and warp it into a song.
I know.
Um, I mean, they did Danger Zone. They have you listened to Danger Zone yet? Their
Oh, Danger
version
Zone
of
is
it.
awesome. Yeah.
I love it. I love when he does the whispering part of when he starts talking about Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer and beach volleyball, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah,
but
we need to get them on though. The last time I talked to them was with you when I was running the Creeper Cast, I think it was.
that's when we were doing late night. That's when me and Kill were doing late night morning show. You were joining.
Yes.
You were starting to join in with us on it.
That's what it
Good
was. I was
Lord,
joining you
fuck.
guys. They weren't joining. You guys weren't joining me. I joined you guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
you were joining because Creepercast. I think Creepercast was starting to slowly dissipate at the time. You were just, I think that, or you were just finding something else to do. Um,
No, at the time that we did that, Creeper Cast was going as strong as it was because I was
Yeah.
still out in Oregon at the time. Where it dissipated was when I moved back to Michigan and I didn't have a studio anymore.
yeah.
So I was trying to record periodically from my kitchen table, and I had a little kid I was trying to take care of, and all of that. But no, that was awesome. That was such a fun interview. Yeah, we
don't
need to get
have-
them on.
I-
You
I-
guys
I
would
couldn't-
love them.
I gotta. They if you actually check out their Facebook, Psychostick, they do monthly concerts. They live stream them through YouTube and through Facebook, which I've always enjoyed. It's like a free concert. You just sit there and listen, and they take recommendations, especially if you tip. They'll play. Um, I remember first hearing Girl Directions for the first time. Um, and then it reminded me of an ex-girlfriend who was really terrible at telling me where to go, and I was like, this fucking makes sense
Yes,
right here.
it so makes sense. Well, the other one, again, my son, and this tells you that I'm a great dad. Can you guess what his favorite song is?
Obey the Beard.
Fuck.
Oh no, that's NSFW. That's
NSFW, that's it.
that's a great lullaby of the same word over and over.
Maybe during the break I'll have you play it.
Oh, I won't be able to play it. I fucking can't get shit hooked up at the moment. I'm losing my mind. We'll edit it in somewhere.
But it's that's his favorite. Dad, can we play the I can't
fuck
say
song?
it. I can't say I can't can I say
Can I
it,
say
Dad?
the word?
Can I say the word, Dad? Can you? Yes, we'll play it again.
Oh, have you showed him? Let him listen to. Do you want a taco?
Yes.
I
don't
thought that was something.
So a lot of the songs I don't think he gets like the underlying meaning.
True,
So
but I think "Do you want a taco" is really meaning "Do you want a taco" in their eyes.
that might be something to ask because that's not how I took it. Although I have a dirty mind. So
Well, we'll have to ask him.
so
So, they
but,
did a
okay.
Ghostbusters. They did do a Ghostbusters rendition. So we got to get
did.
that play. Mm-hmm.
That was another one that we were talking about that they need to do as a remake of the Ghostbusters song.
They already did. It was
Okay.
already released.
How
if
did
you
I
haven't
not know
checked it
that
out-
one?
They're on Spotify, and if you
Is it-
follow them, if shit pops up.
I listen to Apple Music, so that I need to check to see.
And
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Psycho Stick. Oh, they did.
I love their version of
Hold my phone up.
Slimer on the on the screen on their cover. Um, yeah, enough about Psychostick. Gotta love them, but we're gonna move on.
Can you hear it?
Well, before we could do integration, it feels like back in the day when you're taking your phone to a stereo to record music to your phone.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, so a lot of wow, I am really hot. I'm talking my volume, not my looks. I'm talking my volume is really hot.
I mean, you keep sucking on your mics like it's a penis, so it's okay.
It's called eating the mic. I don't eat a penis. You know what I eat? Tacos.
I mean,
Well,
sure,
in
we'll
particular,
go with
one
that.
taco. One taco.
So
So Kelly,
again,
when you're listening to this, I don't eat other tacos.
that's what she said. Again, Fire Talk Radio, episode 20. Check us out on our website, Fire Talk Network. It's firetalkradio.com. Email is firetalknetwork@gmail.com. Email or voicemail is yada 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 because I never remember that. It's 814. I posted it somewhere because I'm a special person. 814-380-9820. If you have comments, questions, concerns, or you want to challenge us in a conversation of what we're talking about, more power to you. I would love to have a conversation with you. Just please bring your facts, not feelings, because I will make you cry. And I love making
Because
cry.
facts don't
people
care
cry.
about your feelings, in the words of Ben
Right?
Shapiro.
I don't give a shit.
Um,
I love Andy. I love Andy to death. I wish Andy were here. Andy knows. As long as you bring your facts, you bring the documents, I'll listen to you. If I'm wrong, I'll be happy to admit I was wrong. Don't get upset when I'm right.
so back to the deer hunting. So I didn't get a
Yeah.
deer. I
mean,
missed. Oh, I should show you a picture. I'll put it up for those that are live.
watch it on YouTube? Yeah, because we're live
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah. So and so let me bring this up. So this is the deer that I was shooting at and missed. Now
He's mocking you in the camera.
he is. That was taken after I missed, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he
Uh,
came back to mock you.
So
He's like, fuck you. I'm out.
yeah. So it was a good 6 point, and
Yeah.
I'm hunting with my son. First thing, hunting with your son, kind of difficult because kids are not quiet. They have
This
the
is his
inability
first
to be-
year?
Yes, he did great for his first year. Actually, you just have to keep reminding him, be quiet. But so I'm letting
Don't
him
snore
hunt
don't snore in the stand.
Yeah. I'm letting him hunt with. Yeah, he slept quite a bit actually, and the deer came while he was sleeping too. I kind of woke him up, and but anyway, so we're in the. When I say stand, not a tree stand, we were on the ground in a blind, a tent blind, with a
Yeah.
heater and stuff. So, tried to make him as comfortable as I could. He's facing one way, I'm facing the opposite way. So we're hunting like two different areas. I'd let him have my rifle because it's easier to control. It's easier to aim
Sure.
because it has the scope on it. I'm hunting with a shotgun with slugs and an open sight. For those of you
No wonder you fucking missed.
So for those of you that don't know what an open sight is, basically you're looking down the barrel, you have a little V notch in the back, and you have a little like piece of metal sticking up in the front, and you have to line them up. And so the angle that this deer came in, I had to, Ryan's looking at me, people watching, I'm going to sit back here. I have to lean over to my left because there was a tree right in the way of him. And I had to shoot around the tree. So I had to lean way over like this. I'm leaned way over my chair. And I'm at this point shooting gangster style because I couldn't hold the shotgun normal up and down because of the way I was leaning. The shotgun was sideways.
Oh, were you trying to do a wanted shot? We're trying to make it curve around a tree?
Oh, if I could have done that, that would have been even better. But no,
Sorry, as soon as you said you were like turned sideways, I was like, oh, he's trying to curve the bullet.
no, I'm trying to get the angle around, like past the tree. And I was able to do it by leaning over, but I couldn't hold the shotgun very steady. And I'm looking through these sights. So I'm leaning and I get my sight picture. Okay, so a sight picture, basically you concentrate on the front sight and the target kind of becomes like a blurry silhouette in the back because of the way that the eye works, you can only focus on one plane at a time. And as I finally get the sight picture, I'm going to pull up another picture. As I get the sight picture going, what I didn't notice in between me and the deer was this tiny, maybe 1-inch diameter tree that was blurred out in my vision. And the slug, here you go, hit the tree.
Were you trying to knock down the tree?
No, I wasn't trying. I didn't see the tree because I saw, you know, the sight picture, the blurry silhouette of the deer. And ricocheted off that tree, hit another little tree, nowhere near where that deer was.
That deer mocked you. He knew you had a shotgun and he said, fuck you, try to hit me.
Yeah. Now, normally I'm a pretty good shot. Definitely with my rifle with the scope, I'm a great shot. Because with the scope, I could have basically weaved the rifle round, you know, in between the trees and stuff like that. But with that shotgun, first time I ever missed a deer.
I would have said, kid, give me the rifle back. I got a shot.
So that's where I really wish I would have, because as I was moving around, the deer didn't move. I'm moving all around trying to get this. Deer didn't move. I should have literally just reached over, grabbed the rifle, but I didn't. I had the shotgun in my hand, so that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's the problem. You were thinking.
I'm hating myself this year for missing that beautiful. Look, that thing is beautiful. You saw the picture of it.
Oh, no.
That's a huge.
I saw the look in its eye, and that he was looking straight at you and mocking you as that you couldn't hit him with a fucking shotgun.
Or at least if I would have put buckshot in there and not a slug.
Yeah.
If I would have put buckshot, probably one of them would have made it through.
True.
But
if you had fingers, you would have given you the middle finger and left.
Yeah. So hunting season is over. I do have one day left. There's a late season that we're going down to my in-laws and hunting. Basically, they have a really big backyard with,
nice.
I want to say it's a 20-acre backyard, and they're letting us hunt that one day. But no, the season's over.
Yeah, I really didn't get into hunting, unfortunately, and I didn't sign up. My the farm behind us, if we wanted to, we could use their mountainside.
Nice.
Which is nice. The only bad thing is their farm is bordered up against an Amish farm, so the Amish farm is no trespassing. So I would have to make sure I knew which side of the fucking farm I'm on. And
They have really nice iPhone apps for that you can turn on, and it GPS tracks you, and you
oh yeah, I mean I have one
put a
on my
little
Android
border,
too.
and
Yeah, and I have the property map lines on there, but it's just I got to make sure I kill it on the farmer side of the farm, not the Amish side, or the Amish
hope
people
it
try to
doesn't
take it.
run onto their side
Yeah.
and die
Thing
on their
is, they
side,
don't
because
need
then
a
you have to
fucking they
ask
don't
permission.
to go get it. Like, hey, I
Yeah.
shot this. It died on your side. Can I go get it? I need to go track it. No. I know. Most of the
Nope,
Amish
that's
people
our meat
around here are
now.
pretty nice. Yeah, I know, right? I know. So, but
Speaking of
uh,
shootings, you know what I'm going to next, right? This happened. Uh, we're about a week and a half now ago. Uh, what I said from the very beginning last year when Kyle Rittenhouse first defended himself, and I say defended because if
oh
you watch
no.
the videos, there's no way you can watch them videos and come out with anything but
I
self-defense.
I thought it was hilarious. So the defense originally had this shitty grained, low quality video, but the prosecution had this high def video.
There was so much prosecutorial misconduct. Like you almost think the prosecution was trying to get a mistrial.
I think the prosecution was trying to feed the narrative as best they could, and they were going by feelings, not facts. And the
Well,
judge wasn't fucking having it. The judge was like, I
oh,
just want the truth." And
and
I
you,
really thought the judge halfway through was going to give a mistrial with prejudice before they even went to the jury
I know,
because of how.
with all the shit that prosecutor did.
Dude, I don't
Like
know how the prosecutor didn't get in trouble for taking Kyle's gun, no clip, and then pointing it towards
waving
the
it and
jury.
pointing it at the jury.
Finger on the trigger.
Yes, yes.
How
Came
do
out
we
with
know
some of
there's
the
not a
best
bullet?
memes, though.
How do you know there's not a bullet in the chamber? You don't.
Even though they check it every time, gun etiquette 101 is you don't
Don't put
point
your
it at
finger on the
people
trigger
and you don't put your finger on the trigger unless
unless
what you're
unless you're ready to kill, unless you're
yes.
ready to shoot.
I teach my son. We were out there. I even taught my son, you keep your finger off the trigger until you pull that safety back, and then you don't put your finger on that trigger until you're ready to actually pull it.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna play the video here in a second. Yes, Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted. Um,
He was
all verdicts were not guilty. Um,
they
a
even added
lot of
extra lower to try to get some sort of a guilty plea.
they added they added they they just threw shit to the wall to see what would stick, and the jury was like, "No, nothing's fuck you." My
Oh,
problem was
supposedly,
MSNBC
follow
had
them.
yeah MSNBC had someone following the van and got caught. Judge was not happy about that. Judge kicked them all out of the fucking out of the room, and NBC had to come out and be like, "Oh no, our bad. We didn't know."
Yeah, they
You,
tried saying,
there's a
well,
reason
he was
why.
freelance. We didn't actually authorize this. When every piece of information says he was told by a producer to follow
Yeah,
them.
to follow. Yeah, that's the whole purpose. Because of how this trial was going, they were going to keep the jury anonymous as much as possible.
Right. And even with that, so this is rumors. I can't confirm this. This is rumors I've seen on blog posts, on TikTok, stuff like that. But according to rumors that I've seen, all but 2 jurors had acquitted him within the first day. The reason that it took so long was that there were 2 jurors that were being threatened,
Yeah.
and they were too afraid to come out, and they had to basically be convinced that they were going to be safe.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
mean,
so I mean, but this whole thing, right from the get-go, one, it should have never went to trial. He should have never been arrested. He should have never spent time in jail. This was a
Linwood
anybody
fucked that
that
up.
looks, yeah,
Linwood fucked that up. I mean, Linwood had the money to bail him out and delayed his release sooner than he should have been.
you're right,
So
because
he
he
stayed
wanted to
longer
use him as a political pawn.
Yeah, that's what Kyle Rittenhouse did, was firing Linwood and getting the proper attorneys right from the fucking get-go was the best thing in his favor. Because Linwood would have done this as a political aspect versus an actual, hey, you shouldn't be fucking in this place.
Right. Here are the and during the trial, he would have made the trial a political trial, like the prosecutor did. The prosecutor made it a political trial.
Yeah. Dude, I swear to God, if you watch it, the prosecution made the whole case for the defense.
Right from day one.
It was like the defense didn't even have to say anything. You just sat there like, really? You're really gonna go this route? I mean, the curveball was having Kyle go to the stand. Because Kyle didn't have to speak. He wanted to speak on his behalf to be like, hey, hey, I didn't do this intentionally. And all.
Right. You know,
Rosenbaum left a mental institution. Mind you, left a mental institution.
Right,
has been convicted of pedophilia.
I think he has like 6 or 7 charges still out against him that he had to go to.
Yeah.
For, sexually assault boys between the ages of 9 and 11.
Yeah.
So
Kyle Rittenhouse so Rosenbaum went out the way he came in. Fucking touching minors
trying to
unwantedly.
touch a little boy. Yeah, trying to touch a minor. So this whole thing right from the get-go, there is no way to watch these videos objectively and say it wasn't self-defense. He was chased by Rosenbaum. He was cornered by Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum was reaching for the gun. He shot. He was chased down the road. He was hit in the head with a skateboard. He fell down. Some guy tried jumping on his head. By the way, they got the name of the guy who has a list of convictions. Or charges.
Yeah, because on the clear video, you can actually see his face.
Right. And then you have the second guy that was shot who hit him in the head with a skateboard. Mind you, the way the skateboard hit him could have easily broken his neck and killed Kyle. Then reached in, grabbed the barrel of the gun, pulled it away from Kyle as Kyle shot, and the barrel was basically right to his chest. Then the one that didn't die, Gage Grossman something or other, Gage, on the stand and in the video, you can see Kyle points the gun at him. He puts his hands up, backs away. Kyle doesn't pull the trigger. He lowers his weapon into the ready position. Gage then, Grosskreutz, there it is. His pistol in his right hand, reaches it down, aimed at Kyle's head. That's when Kyle brings it back up and fires, exploding his arm.
This is a self-defense case that went to a murder trial that was concluded as a self-defense case.
Right.
And now, with the gross negligence of The View, Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg, who in like the 80s, 90s, I actually love their movies.
Yeah.
Have now have become grotesquely inaccurate with a lot of their statements, and they are probably going to be sued. Um,
They should be sued.
Joe Biden is on that chopping block, supposedly. Um,
Joy Bear
J-
from MSNBC.
oh
Joy
yeah,
Behar.
fuck Joe Behar. Yeah, she's a cunt.
Um, you notice two of the worst people in the world's name is Joy.
Oh my god, I don't. My thing is, she talked about Trump so terribly. Like now, all of a sudden, her comments are now biting her in the ass. I mean, I understand the power of freedom of speech. You know, I mean, I'm all for. There's a difference from freedom of speech and defamation.
In defamation, libel, which when she says it and it's being recorded, it's libel. And
He
for Trump and
Kyle
for
Rittenhouse is going to have
Rittenhouse,
to change his name
right.
legally.
He can't go to
He'll
school.
never be able to have like a real job because he can't go out in public because everyone's going to see his face and be like, "Oh, you're the son of a bitch who killed 3 people."
Right. You're the quote unquote white supremacist that went out and tried to kill 3 people. Listen, one, there's nothing that ties him to white supremacy.
Yeah.
2, he didn't go out there to be he didn't go out there being a mass shooter, seeing as how the only people he shot were the ones that attacked him. Then there's that whole bullshit about, oh, well, he crossed state lines with a gun, which he didn't, but even if he did, so the fuck what? I crossed state lines with a gun. I drove from Michigan all the way to Oregon with a gun. You know what? I didn't break any laws.
NBC's Face the Nation actually is probably one of the first groups to do this so far. They rolled back their comments and apologized. And I thought that was the greatest thing is that they pulled their comment, they pulled what happened, and they said, the way we were told, we're wrong. And it's like, you know what? That right there is about as big as you could ever get, is apologizing for being a sheep in the crowd, following the tone, and then be like, oh, oops. Yeah, we shouldn't have done it that way. Our bad.
Yeah, but
Don't
the problem
sue us.
is so many people are not going to see that. Andy, I love you, but if you remember the conversation we had over the summer about Kyle, Andy believed a lot of what they were saying, that he drove from Illinois to Wisconsin with a gun and his mom drove him. Well, his mom didn't drive him.
There.
He didn't have
he
the
was
gun.
there the day before. He stayed over from work.
Right, exactly. So none of that happened. You know, and I don't blame Andy, because you have to follow, and actually search out the fact patterns to find the actual facts, because what the media, what the news is giving you are not facts. They're the opposite.
They were bearing a lot of the facts to where it was really hard to research of what actually happened that day. Unfortunately,
and it wasn't even that they spin the facts and said, well, it could be taken this way. No, they flat out lied. It's a lie. And as Joe Rogan said, it's a lie.
Yeah. And that was a great thing about what Joe Rogan was saying about it. And I was like, well, I mean, he's absolutely right. I mean, this is all the people that are Second Amendment nuts are like, oh yeah, this is all self-defense. And then you have people that want to take away your guns. And they're trying to use Kyle Rittenhouse's case to justify it. And it's not going to work now. But
and now you have that fuckhead from congressman from New York that went after Trump, for all that stuff. You know that I can't think of his name. He has his wears his
Nader.
pants up to his
That's
nipples.
Ralph Nader. That's
Um,
Nader.
he wants the Department
He
of
wants to
Justice.
take it to the federal court. He wants to try to
he
do
wants
federal charges.
he wants federal charges against him.
Yep.
It's a state
And-
matter.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you can't bring the federal courts involved if it's not a federal issue. It's not a federal issue. They've already proven he didn't cross state lines from one state to another with a weapon. So there's no implication of intent with traveling with a weapon. So Nader can take his thoughts and shove it up his ass. He needs to fucking get out of Congress himself. He's a retarded motherfucker.
Yes.
He used to
And-
be really good. I will give Nader credit. Back in the day when he used to be when the Democrats were actually really good at being a Democrat and they weren't poisoned the way they are right now. He was really good about speaking. Now it's like he's gotten to the point of power. It's like if you see him, he slouches in his chair. He fucking's like whatever. It's sad to watch. He just needs to go. They all need to fucking go. And
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Speaking of Congress people, Nancy Pelosi's moving. Did you see this?
To Florida.
So Florida,
Isn't
she
it?
bought a house, a $25 million mansion in Florida, because she doesn't want to pay the taxes in California.
Which
Hold on, wait. Florida is a self-sustaining state to where it doesn't need a federal budget. Like literally, they have a self-sustaining state. They balance their budget every year. They don't
and they
need
just
federal
flipped
funding,
red. Did you see that?
and they did.
They have
Oh.
more. They have
DeSantis.
they have like a 53%
Yeah,
registered Republicans over Democrats
yeah.
and independents.
DeSantis, and the thing is, if Nancy Pelosi does go, she can't be a representative for Florida because their seats are all filled.
Yep.
So how is she, so that means she's retiring if she's moving to Florida,
Or
which
it's a
isn't
second
that where all
home, but if
senior
she had a
citizens go
second-
anyways?
So if she had a second home, I think you have to spend at least more than 2/3 of the year in the state that you represent. So
Yeah.
so she would have to have a second home, supposedly stay in California, so she'd still be paying the taxes and everything.
Yeah. I mean, she does fucking what? Tax evasion? Not tax evasion. Insider
Well,
trading.
she might.
That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to go. I mean, look what happened with Tesla. She had her husband buy $1 million worth of Tesla right before they made the deal, and poof, that stock went through the roof. Speaking of Tesla, I mean, fucking Elon Musk and the challenge to the WHO for world hunger. Oh, it was what was it? 600. Their math was what? $664 billion will cure world hunger.
Yeah.
And
he said 6.6 billion.
it was 6.6 billion.
6.6 billion. And he put the challenge out and said, I will sell my stock and give you that $6 billion. But you have to
You got to
do it
give me
my
the
way."
math.
Yes.
No. He
You
wanted
can't-
the math. You can't just
and
tell
he wanted,
me that.
and he wanted all the books open source so everybody can go through,
Yeah.
through them.
Yeah, and he wanted a full proposal. Like so if you've noticed, I mean, he's been selling his stock little by
Like
little.
crazy. No, he's been doing it like crazy lately.
Oh yeah, I mean, like a bill here but in sections. It's not like he's doing all of it at once. So I'm like, look at this. Elon Musk is doing what he said. What billionaire has done that so far? Said, oh, okay, if this is what's going to cure hunger, here's the money. I mean, the WHO, from my understanding, did come with the proposal of, hey, this is where the money goes. Literally, just a breakdown to every dollar. So I think that's what's happening at this current moment is that he is in process of getting people their money. And if that works, I mean, I would
So
love that would be awesome.
the proposal is 3.5 billion for food and delivery, 2 billion for cash and food vouchers among other expenditures. That only comes to 5.5 billion. There's still $500 million left over someplace, but
Yeah,
still,
probably payroll. You got to pay somebody
yeah,
to do that, help do it. Also, I mean,
I
here's what it
guess
is:
I don't
pay people to help out.
pay people to volunteer.
I mean, Elon Musk, I have to say, has been one of those guys who's been very smart with his money. I mean, you look at between SpaceX, you look at Tesla. Um, don't get me wrong. I think Tesla is great for the time. It really is. I think it's revolutionary. But you want to talk about saving the planet, you don't want to go lithium. To mine cobalt to get the lithium batteries to go is worse than fucking a nuclear plant. It's destroying.
And
It's even.
do you know
It's
where the
making.
biggest mines of lithium is?
Oh, it's in Afghanistan. We already talked about this last time.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when Afghanistan and China made that deal. I mean, speaking of China, they're closing their ports to everybody again. So it's like, who fucking cares? Um, I mean, I will say this right now. I mean, we wouldn't be where we are if wasn't for NIH and for China for the coronavirus. Um, it
Yeah.
with the it's just nuts. We're going through so many variants. We got a new one, Omicron. I want to say it's a transformer. I
Omnicron.
mean, the question is, I
Omicron.
mean, is he a
It's a part of
Decepticon
the
or
it's
is
a
he a
part of
Decepticon?
the Greek alphabet.
No, no, fuck that. I mean, he's probably a Decepticon. Um, the question is, what does he transform into? That'd be the ultimate. I mean, that'd be the ultimate. I mean, the ultimate thought there. I mean,
I don't know.
but if you've
I
noticed the studies, all the people that are getting it are already vaccinated, and it's worse if you're double vaccinated. So technically, if you're with this new variant, the way it's going, you're not vaccinated anymore, right? Theory? What do you
well,
think?
um,
Technically, you're not vaccinated anymore because you're being treated as your.
so they're treating so they're okay. So here's the thing with the Omicron that I know so far is it's more contagious. Hey, you know what? That happens with every virus. They become more contagious with each one. However, it's less deadly. According to the reports out of South Africa, they've had a lot of people get sick with it. No hospitalization. The most common issue that people are having are cold to flu-like symptoms. That's it. And um, the vaccinations. So you have Fauci up there saying, "Well, we don't know if the vaccines will work against this. We need to lock everyone down because that worked so well the first time, and the second time." Uh,
Well, I mean, what they brought that. Well, the president was talking about that. Potato was talking about that today. They will call him a
I call him
potato
Lamp.
because
He's kind of like a lamp in the house.
I'm gonna call him
He's just
Walter. He's Jeff Dunham's puppet,
yeah,
Walter.
yeah.
Um, was saying that it is he doesn't want to do a lockdown, but it could happen. Like it's there in his pocketbook. If he locks the country down again, it's going to drive everybody nuts.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
mean, mental health is going to go through the roof.
Especially if this turns out to be. Listen, I don't care about the flu. I don't care about how many people get, because that's a part of life, and people aren't dying at a high rate of it with it. If this variant, whether you're, if it basically gives you flu-like symptoms but doesn't kill that many people, who cares?
Right.
Who cares if it spreads? I don't care if my whole family gets it and we get the flu. We get the flu every year. We live in Michigan. We get a flu shot and we get the flu every year. Okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So, and every time, which is funny, every time we get the flu shot and then we get the flu like 2 or 3 months later, like, oh, because you got influenza B, not influenza A. Well, why the fuck don't you put influenza B in there?
Because when they do the flu shot, they do the strain from last year, the most recent one. So by the time the next generation of flu for the next year, the flu shot is only, again, is there to lessen said symptoms. It won't prevent you from getting said flu. Just like the COVID shot is going to lessen said symptoms, not prevent you from getting COVID. So whoever wants to keep telling me, wants to argue with me that it's a vaccine, I will tell you to go eat a big bag of dicks. Because
Yeah.
a
It's
vaccine,
a prophylactic. It's a
genetic therapy.
genetic
It's a
prophylactic.
genetic therapy shot. Yeah. So a vaccine, by definition, means when you take this shot, you will not get said disease, like smallpox, chickenpox, hepatitis A and B,
My son got the chickenpox vaccine. He's been around chickenpox.
polio,
People with chickenpox never got it.
shingles. I went and got my shingles one because my
I thought
parents
shingles.
were
I thought you
mean
had to get shingles. You only got shingles if you first got chickenpox,
correct. If you've had chickenpox before, the shingles virus is in you.
which is
So
our age.
yeah, because our parents were mean, and they said, "Oh, Tom, Dick, and Harry down the street has chickenpox. We're gonna have all our kids are gonna have sleepovers." That's what my parents did.
Mm-hmm.
One of the neighbor
Yep.
kids I went to school was off from school because he had the chickenpox. So my parents made me go spend the night at his house so I get the fucking chickenpox to get that shit done and over with.
I don't think we
Fuck
did
you.
that, but I know I had the chickenpox when I was like 4 or 5, and
Oh yeah,
I
no,
still have
I mean I
I
was in
still have a
second
scar
grade.
on my arm from scratching.
Yeah, I was in second grade when it happened. Granted, yes, it was a great few days off from school, but it sucked. You know.
But my son got vaccinated. He's been around kids with chickenpox. Guess what? Didn't get chickenpox. Don't think he'll ever get chickenpox. Just the way it goes.
Won't get polio. Won't
Nope.
get MMR. Those are vaccines. COVID shot is not a vaccine. Does not guarantee that means you're still going to get the damn thing if you're in contact. That all just comes down to your immune system. I know.
And so we've talked a lot about the vaccine and what our views are on it. I don't care if you get the vaccine or not. That's your own personal choice. I got the one back in the spring, and I got the J&J, which doesn't use the mRNA. The best that somebody can tell me is it's a concoction of poison. But here's the thing with the way that they're injecting the spike proteins of it into you so that your body doesn't let COVID reproduce as quickly or as easily into you. if the spike proteins change like they do with the cold, the flu, by the way, the cold is a coronavirus. It's actually, I guess it's a multiple coronaviruses attached
Yes.
together, I heard. Um, the cold, the flu, they mutate every year. So you have the spike proteins of the previous one that you had. But if you get that cold or that flu and you get another virus that is similar, doesn't have to be the same, but similar enough, because your body's immune system, not just with the spike proteins, but with the T cell memory and everything else, you are going to fare a lot better. And that's why people that had COVID had better immunity than people with the vaccine. Because their whole body's system works against it, not just one part of it. Omicron coming from the land of Omicron.
Has now named this variant Omicron. That brings in now our senior medical correspondent, Elizabeth Cohen. We've got this new name now from the
People of Earth, I am Lur of the planet Omicron Persei 8. Is this thing on?
I have a feeling that's what's in your system is those little people walking around.
Just little aliens. They are injecting you with forget tracking devices. They're injecting you with little aliens.
Right?
You know that
I mean,
our government is ran by lizard people, right?
would not surprise me whatsoever. I mean, it would make more sense.
Joke for you.
Oh no.
So, a kindergarten teacher is talking to her, goes around and what the grandparents do for a living or what they used to do. Does anybody know? And one boy stands up and says, my grandpa used to be a fighter pilot in the Navy. Another one said, or in the Air Force, said, my grandpa was a firefighter. Another one, my grandpa was a cop. Another one, my grandpa was a doctor. And finally they get around and a little girl stands up and she stands there thinking and thinking and thinking and goes, my grandpa was a pole dancer, was a stripper. And the teacher looked at her, told her to go out into the hallway, and goes, is that true? Your grandpa was really a stripper? And she goes, no. My grandpa is Joe Biden, but being a stripper is a lot less embarrassing.
I believe it. I could see that happening. I mean,
So now they're pushing Omicron, which for those that say it's not political, it's definitely political because they jumped from Delta. So, go by the Greek alphabet, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta, Iota, Kappa, Lambda, Nu, Xi, Omicron, Pi, Rho, Sigma. So why did they jump over Nu and Xi straight to Omicron? Do you know?
China.
Well, China was... So, Xi is spelled Xi. The leader of China's last name is spelled Xi. They didn't want people to associate the coronavirus with China. Now, it's pronounced different.
Kind of makes sense.
His is G, but... And they didn't want to use Nu because they think people would spell it N-E-W like, oh, it's a new virus. We're going to use all the alphabets, the Greek alphabet, but we're going to skip these ones because political.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense because that's how the Democrats, I have to say, the left side wants to make everything. Everything is political. Nothing
this
is.
whole virus is about control. Why would Fauci go up there and suggest lockdowns more, or why would Biden get up and say everybody needs to get the vaccine and a booster shot because of the Omicron virus, that the vaccine isn't going to stop it from spreading and it's not killing. Why else?
Not that we know of yet. I mean,
It's
I
not
mean-
as deadly as the original, just like Delta wasn't as. Michigan just put out. I don't know if I can find it because it was on Facebook, and you know how when you go back to look at something on Facebook you didn't save, it gets buried.
yeah.
So, but it was on Facebook. They put out in Michigan, over 25,000 people got COVID, in the last week or whatever they do every week. Of the 135 died.
So 1%.
It's less than that.
Yeah.
So
It's like
if you do the math,
0.01.
it's like 0.5%. So they could have easily said 25,000 people got the coronavirus or got COVID. 99.5% of them are fine. Or they could have just said 0.0 or 0.5% of them died. And somebody that looks at it and goes, well, let me see here. I got 0.5% chance of dying, or 99 point. I'm going to play the odds. Everyone talks about if you put your hand in a, you put 100 marbles in there and one of those marbles is going to kill you. Would you put your hand in to pick the marbles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would. If the chances of me are 99 to 1. So
And yeah, no, it's just it's a never-ending cycle with this crap. So, I still say, in like 5 years after Biden's no longer in office, we're gonna start seeing TV commercials. Have you or a loved one been affected by the COVID vaccine? Please call 1-800 blah 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 for compensation.
yeah. My uncle, who is now going through chemo treatments, was perfectly fine before getting the vaccine.
Oh yeah.
Immediately after, somehow he had a tumor that grew so fast that they couldn't catch it. And now he's got to get chemo and everything like that. Even his doctor, basically said, okay, by the rules, he got to the page, according to my uncle and my mom and my aunt who were there, he got to the page about getting vaccinated, and he goes, okay, I'm required to offer you a booster shot. Would you like a booster shot? And when he said no, the doctor said, that's probably a good decision.
Right.
The doctors know. They're not allowed to say it. They know.
Yeah. You have then you have some doctors who follow with their political beliefs, and I will say those people need to turn in their medical license because they're
But the
failing
problem
the
is the
Hippocratic
ones
Oath.
that actually try to give people a balance. The whole point of medicine is you have informed consent, right? You get
Yeah,
surgery, you have informed consent. Listen, you have a 9-10% chance that you could die on the table. You could have, if you don't get it, this is what your life could be. If you get it and we succeed, your life may not be perfect, but it could, you have informed consent.
Yep.
This is the only time that doctors are not allowed to give the downside. listen, this many people have had adverse reactions to it. This is what I've seen.
They don't
in
even
my
track
office.
that anymore. CDC doesn't even track the adverse reactions
They don't
anymore.
follow the VARs or VAERS reports.
Nope. If you go to the CDC's website, they don't have anything on the adverse reactions. Under OSHA guidelines, even if you get it,
They don't have to report it.
they don't have to report it anymore. Under OSHA's guidelines, even with the federal guidelines, because I asked, because I actually got it recently. Andy will be proud of me. Did I want to get it? It was basically a threat, either get it or lose my job. And at the time, I was just not. I'm not in a place to go looking for another fucking job at this moment. And I wasn't gonna go to a
Wasn't
new
the
job and fight.
CEO of Sony also threatening people to stick something in them or they lose their job?
Yeah, something like that. But
Threatening girls?
because I work for the federal, I do work for the federal government. I work for a part of it. There is in the federal mandate, it does state if you are a work at home employee, you are exempt. Well, I've been a work at home employee for the last 2 years. They told me that doesn't matter. I said, then why the fuck have it in the mandate?
Exempt. Yeah.
Right? They said it's there, but I mean, I fought it. I'm a unionized federal employee. And I fought it to death. And even my union told me no. And I'm like, you're a big waste of fucking space, aren't you? And but it is what it is. I got it. I had to leave work early the next day after I got the damn thing. Thought my arm was gonna fall off.
Did
I
you
was
get
in
the
severe.
Pfizer?
No, I went J&J.
Good. Good.
Because the spike protein for the mRNA has never been used until now. So therefore, it is too new for me to read about and to learn about to see how it works. So therefore, it was too new for me to question. When J&J, so this was basically was one shot and done. I didn't want to have to get one shot, then come back 2 weeks later for a second dose. I thought that was fucking stupid. But I had muscle cramps. I was sick. Had a blood panel done that weekend after. My immune system was shot. And I don't get sick often anymore. But that troubled me. And now I feel like I had a balloon, put myself in a bubble because I was afraid to get sick. I didn't know how I was going to end up becoming. But it is what it is. I'm doing a lot better now. Do I wish I didn't take it? Fuck yeah. But my family is my family. So I outweighed my risk and my reward. But now I feel depressed. So let's move on to something more funny.
Okay.
All right.
Have you seen the new Ghostbusters?
Yes.
And I saw it opening day.
I
we
didn't go
drove- we
opening
were out-
day.
We were out hunting. Amazingly, because we went at the 6:00 movie, and amazingly, we drove 45 minutes to the nearest town, which was a college town. So I assumed they were going to be packed. but they weren't.
No?
I talked to the people and they said, "Oh yeah, they had a midnight movie the night before and a 2 or 2:30 movie, and they were packed that night before the Thursday."
Nice.
And so we went and we saw. Here's my son, picture of my son in front of a replica of Ecto 1. I don't think that's Ecto 2. I
That's
don't
a
see
Hearst.
it
Come on. That's a shitty
Ecto.
looking Hearst.
Well, it's hard to find the 1954 Hearst slash uh, um,
Ambulance.
ambulance, which is what that was. It was 1957, I think.
Yeah.
So, but it's probably one of the better ones. I've seen them really bad though, with where they took like PT Cruiser and stuff and did it.
Oh yeah.
So so I at least give them credit.
They tried. I'll give them that. They tried. I mean,
Yeah.
the plush Slimer and some of the traps. They tried. Give them that.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I give them credit for what it is. And yeah, this is definitely not Ecto 2 because it doesn't have the canisters and stuff on the top and all that stuff from the second movie. But so we went and saw it. I think I spent the whole time with my jaw open going, this is fucking awesome.
No, it was fantastic. The end of the movie is what really did it for me. And
Did you
I know
stay
most people.
credits?
I did.
And you saw the not the mid credit scene, but the after
Nope,
credit.
I saw the end. Yeah, so
Okay.
we already know there's going to be another one, and that's what's fantastic about this series. At least it's not the four ladies. It's the dudes. The dudes are back, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is what's so great is how they brought everyone back. So everyone knows the plot point is Egon dies, and evidently not with Janine. He has a daughter, and his daughter has kids, and they basically get moved into his house in the middle of Kansas, and that's when they start finding all of his old Ghostbusters. None of them knew he was a Ghostbuster because he left them when his daughter was young.
I thought it was fantastic that they found the trap that had Gozer in it. That was what the icing on the cake for me was. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet. If you haven't seen the very first or the second one with Gozer,
No. First one is Gozer.
first
Those
one
are
is
the
Gozer.
Gozerian
Yeah.
is the first one. Second
Yeah.
one is
Is
Vigo.
Vigo
Vigo
the
the Carpathian.
yeah. Fucking Ray fucks them up at the end each time with each monster. Swear to God, it's all Ray's fault. And
I
but
do like the one though when he finally gets asked again, "Are you a god?" And he looks around and he's like, "Yes." He's like,
Yes,
he like
and
looks
still
at each
gets-
other.
but they still get zapped. He's like, it's like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, well, it's a no-brainer, yes or no. You're gonna get zapped still. I do love the mini marshmallow men.
The mini marshmallow men, I was laughing so freaking hard when they were roasting themselves and made a s'more out of themselves.
And I love the tribute because their very first premiere happened to be on Harold Remis's birthday, and that was really cool. Harold Remis is Egon Spengler in the movie. I will be honest, if it wasn't Bill Murray had his moments in the first two movies. Same thing with Dan Aykroyd. Same thing. But Harold Remis really was the glue of that movie. And if you haven't seen his collection of movies, you need
Oh
to.
God,
I think my
Stripes.
Stripes. Stripes is my favorite.
Stripes. Yes.
I think Stripes got a lot of people in that era to join the army. Um, but the fact that they had him, and they had him, old man Harold Remus, not
Yeah, they
young.
had to have done like deep fake or something,
Oh
or
yeah,
taken
they
old
did
footage
a
and
deep fake on that one. They took photos and aged him,
yeah.
and it worked. It worked. And correct. It was great. Harold Remus didn't even talk. He was just there, smiling as ever, and helping his grandchild cross the streams. Um,
Yeah. And
that
but
was.
so
I did
as I'm
like the
watching,
sidecar. The sidecar actually came out at Ecto 2 when they were going through the city or the little town.
yes,
I was like, because you only saw that sidecar pop in the cartoon. You
I was
never
gonna
saw
say
it in
they
the
used it
movie.
a few times in the cartoon, but never the movie.
Never the
They
movie.
also
But the fact that they did it in the
about the pop.
movie, which made that, that proved that the cartoon tied with the movie.
By the way, the cartoon is called The Real
Real
Ghostbusters, not
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. That was because there was a cartoon called Ghostbusters that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so
Which
they
makes
had to
sense.
call it The Real Ghostbusters. But it was awesome. Yeah, the sidecar, and then uh, I have to say, me and my son, right after we got done, said, "Oh, we're watching this again." Like, I will pay to go to the theater again and watch it again before waiting for it to.
My next movie is Spider-Man: No Way Home. Are
Yes,
you gonna go see Spider-Man when it comes out?
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm seeing Spider-Man. And you know what comes right after Spider-Man? Not in the movies, but on Netflix? Cobra Kai
No.
season 4.
I haven't really got into Cobra Kai. I'll say that for a fact right now. Have not watched it. I've been glued to Yellowstone. I think my wife listens to this. If she ever listens to this, will be pissed off that I finished Yellowstone without her. Don't
You
give a shit
need
though.
to sit down, block out 2 days, and sit down
I
because
have a
you
hard
will
time
binge
getting
it.
past I have watched Cobra Kai the first 2 episodes like twice now, and my head is just I can't get in it. That is my issue. It's kind of one of the shows. It's just my head just can't get in it, and
Well,
but the
December
Umbrella
19th.
Academy is about to come out. The season 3 of that on Netflix. So
See,
that's about to
that's one I can't get into. I cannot get into Umbrella Academy. I've
See,
watched.
I
Me and my
read
wife
the.
watched half of the first season, and I just couldn't keep doing it.
How far did you get?
I don't
Do you
remember.
remember?
It's been a couple years now.
Yeah.
Um,
It, it's I read the book. The lead singer of My Chemical Romance wrote the comic, and they turned it into a fucking show on Netflix. Um, and it is staying to the book as the comic as much as possible, which is really good. Um, so I'm looking forward to seeing the Umbrella Academy versus the Sparrow Academy in this season coming up. So I'm looking forward to that.
Flash is back.
Which one?
Flash.
I,
First 2 episodes of the 8th season, I think it is. Me and my son
I'm-
watched it.
I didn't watch. I don't really watch The Flash.
Oh, I love Flash. Going really well.
I
Flash,
watched.
so normally they do like a crossover episode in December with everyone when everyone starts in like September. But now since everyone's starting at all different times, per episode or crossover series just with the Flash for like the next month.
Well, I mean,
So-
that's the thing. A lot of the DC for CW, a lot of them are being canceled. I mean,
Yeah.
little
Well,
by little.
so
And it's like,
he's talking to canceled people though. That's the strange thing. He's already talked to Supergirl. Just had her season finale a while ago. A couple like
yeah,
and then Black Lightning was canceled last year, and he's now in the crossover. Um, they might be doing another Green Arrow with Green Arrow's daughter, and she's going to be a part of the Flash crossover to introduce her back again.
I think they're going to where when they did what the big DC event of where they were doing the multiverse, which
Yeah.
the that was my favorite episode will always be when Kevin Conroy actually got to live act Bruce Wayne.
Hmm.
Kevin Conroy's been my Batman. Don't get me wrong, Michael Keaton was my movie Batman. But as a child, Kevin Conroy was always Bruce Wayne and Batman. Seeing him wearing the exosuit made me realize that's the grumpy old Wayne after he snapped.
That's
And
after if you kind of think about it, that's what Ben Affleck's Batman would turn into.
no, no, Ben Affleck's eventually his would end up being the old man Wayne from Batman Beyond, where he ends up having a heart attack and just doesn't do it anymore until Terry McGinnis. That is that old man Wayne. Bruce Wayne. If you've reading the comics, there's been so many different versions. Kevin Conroy's is the old 50s where he ended up going back to killing the enemies.
Right.
Where he
Well,
in
even
the
in
end,
that one, he killed Superman.
yeah, he killed he
That's how he ended up in the exosuit. Is his fight with Superman?
in the that is the Dark Knight Returns Part 2 when they went at it in the street. Old Man Wayne and Old Man Superman. Clark Kent got his shit kicked in by Bruce Wayne. But in the end, that's what happened. He needed the exosuit to fucking even walk. That is that version. Because that one, Kate Kane is dead. Well, Kate Kane's now dead now, which the girl who's playing Batwoman now in this series.
Oh, the black girl. Because
I don't
Rose
have anything
quit.
against who she is. I just think they did it for changing everything, and that's fine. I just
Well,
don't think she's pulling the character correctly.
Well,
If she was pulling Batwoman correctly, I wouldn't give a shit.
the problem there is Ruby Rose was supposed to stay Batwoman, and she quit. And
Yeah.
when she quit, they had to scramble and find somebody else and
Yeah.
rewrite how she became. So basically, they did the first season over again in the second season.
Yeah, basically what they should have done was, if Ruby Wright would have done this properly, would have notified that she was quitting when they were doing the crossover when her multiverse part came through. So they would have had two Kate Kanes, one would have exited, and they would have had a better explanation.
Yes. And you wouldn't have to see her learning all over again.
Yeah, but the guy who is playing Batwing, Lucius Fox's son, he's doing a really decent job with the character. I will give him that. This is probably the second time the Lucius Fox's son is actually wearing a suit. The last time was during the animated movie Bad Blood. Other than that, no one's really ever talked about it until, I mean, comics, yes. But I mean, I pick and choose when I watch the show. I don't really. The DC shows versus the Marvel shows are like Hawkeye. Hawkeye just returned to.
Oh, Hawkeye!
Just
Yeah,
launched
I
on
saw the first
Disney
two
Plus.
episodes back to back last week. That was awesome.
I will give Disney. Disney has the ability to play off the movies, where CW doesn't. So that's a little bit harder, I guess. They're in their own universe, where Hawkeye is trying to recover the Ronin suit and dealing with that identity.
Well, even right
And-
down to Scribe when he was taking a piss, Thanos was right.
Yeah.
So evidently
seen the
somebody
Eternals
didn't
yet?
like everyone coming back.
Have you seen anything of the Eternals yet?
No. I
They
haven't
explain.
watched.
So when you do, you'll understand what I'm saying here. They explain why Thanos had that conversation.
Okay.
Why he had that epiphany about snapping half. Just half. So in comic book lore, Celestials. The Celestials are sparked once a certain planet has reached feeding. Galactus, Celestial. The theory is Thanos' world, Titan, was a sparked, a Celestial. And that's where he got the epiphany of we need to wipe out half, just half. It wasn't just for population control whatsoever. It's so no other planet has to go through what Titan went through. So yes, was Thanos right? In theory, he could have been right.
I mean,
And all.
But
see, no one's ever
the
going
hard
to
part with
ex-
Thanos and everything is that same logic is used by just about every genocidal maniac.
Correct. No, I'm not. No, I completely understand that aspect of it. But his brother is in the Eternals. Is in the Eternals. His mom is one of the Eternals. So they really do
Yeah.
break it
I mean,
down
I'll
even
have
more.
to watch it. I've heard so
Eventually.
many bad reviews about it that I don't know if I want to
Don't.
pay.
I wouldn't even pay attention to the reviews because there's a couple countries that won't allow the movie to play because of a same-sex kiss, which who fucking gives a
Yeah.
shit anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
If you do it, you do it. You don't. Who cares?
But so I was reading and of confirmed what people's suspicion was is that it does take place 2 years in the future.
Yeah.
So Hawkeye actually takes place after the upcoming Spider-Man movie and the
Correct.
upcoming Doctor Strange movie
Yep.
and Eternals and Shang-Chi, Legends of the Ten Rings. I think I said his name correctly.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
There you go.
But me and my son
that
watched
was an excellent movie. If you haven't
Yeah,
seen it, it's on Netflix. It's on Disney Plus. It's really good.
me and my son watched that while we were hunting and loved
I made my
it.
wife watch it with me, and she was impressed. And she's not a big fan of Marvel. She's just not.
I
A big
even
fan
love
of
the
comic book movies.
a little spoiler. I love the after credits. When they're when he gets pulled in.
Yeah.
He's talking to
Bruce and everybody. They're trying to figure out where the rings came
Captain
from.
Marvel and all that. Yeah.
So the Legend of the original Ten Rings is when I was watching it. So behind the big door, I thought it was Fing Fang Foom. Do you know
I
who
don't know
Fin
who
Fang
that
Foom is?
No.
He's the
Not
creator
exactly.
of the rings. He's the one that can call to the rings. That's why I thought it was Fin Fang Foom. But where they in Lung and is it Lung? It's Lung Cow or Lung whatever the ancient place.
Yeah.
So that is one of two areas. The other one is Iron Fist. Did you ever see Iron Fist on Netflix?
I love Iron Fist. Yeah, he goes through to like a mountaintop.
That's Shaolin. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the other dragon. Is how he got the Iron Fist.
Oh, that's right, because it's the person with the Iron Fist that keeps the dragon at bay.
Yes. So, hence those are two neighboring areas. They can only open by a time frame once a year. Iron Fist has been eluded based on how this movie is. So we may see Danny Reed
That would be awesome.
soon.
I know nobody is going to agree with me. Say an opinion that people won't agree with. Of the Netflix Marvel shows, Iron Fist is my favorite.
I enjoyed Iron Fist. I did.
Iron Fist was my favorite.
I did to a point. I think they could have done much better than they did.
They could have done
when
so
they
much more with it, but definitely.
When they did him with the full-on defenders with Power Man, Iron Fist, Jones, and Daredevil, and then the Punisher showed up because why not? Why the fuck not?
He's the Punisher, sure.
Disney Plus is actually resurrecting the Punisher. That has been confirmed. So I can't wait for that. And John Berthenel is playing Punisher.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
That's not changing. So we're still going to get the ass kicker.
Daredevil, because Daredevil was my second favorite, and
so that's speaking of Daredevil. So the rumor is that Daredevil is supposed to be in No Way Home.
Okay, so before you go any further, for those that don't know, Daredevil and Spider-Man, they cross over so much.
They're both from Queens.
And at one point, Matthew Murdock actually defends Peter Parker. They are both, in many cases, fight Kingpin. Kingpin's in both.
Yes.
I mean, there are so many. Yeah, they are in the same.
They're all in the same universe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't read the comic, the One Day, the Spider-Man series, where he wishes nobody knew who Spider-Man was, because that's what happened. This is basically what happens. Daredevil, Matthew Murdock does defend him, but that's just when all shit goes wrong. So I can't wait for No Way Home because I want to see how because they're implementing the resurrection of now not one but supposedly 3 Spider-Men. So you're going to get the multiverse aspect. And on top of that, you're going to possibly get the Sinister Six aspect. We already have Ock. We have Goblin. We have Lizard. We have...
I think Sandman.
Sand.
They showed a couple references to Sandman.
We have 5.
Yeah.
Lizard,
Ock,
Goblin, Electro.
Yes.
So there's one more, and they haven't released who it is yet. So, see, they're talking. So there's been a lot of people alluding that Venom's going to show up, which I think would be hilarious.
Especially
Because there's
if
only
it's
one
the Venom.
Spider-Man that's been dealt. There's only been one Spider-Man that has dealt with Venom, and that's
Yep.
Tobey Maguire's. And Tobey Maguire's gonna lose his shit once he sees
Now,
the suit,
here's
because he's
yeah,
already
but
gonna know
here's
what
the
it
thing.
is.
Here's the thing with Venom is the current Venom that we have, if they keep with that, because he's supposed to be a part of canon, isn't he? The current Venom
Yes.
movies.
Yep.
That's not the
But
same
at-
Venom that Spider-Man fights, though.
The symbiote
Unless some
is the
right,
same.
but what I'm saying
It's
is
just-
the symbiote can change to somebody else, but the current Venom, that like from Venom and Venom 2 that just came out, it's a different. It's more.
No.
Venom is more of a hero than or an anti-hero than
Venom's always been an anti-hero, regardless of the situation, because of the conflict. It's Eddie Brock that makes Venom
Yes,
the way
that's
he
what I
is.
was thinking. Eddie Brock is the bad Venom.
So, but Tobey Maguire's not going to recognize Eddie Brock, because the Eddie Brock he remembers is not the same Eddie Brock. That would be the only telltale. But the thing is, the symbiote from the current Venom is the same symbiote from Tobey Maguire's, for the fact they both came from space. And that's how they got there. So that is a possibility. The question is, will we get the white spider on the Venom suit if that happens? Will this Venom, being with the multiverse split, recognize Spider-Man? Because that suit was technically at one time attached to Spider-Man.
Right.
My ultimate thought was that we're going to see Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin
Or
and
Mys-
Green Goblin.
That is a possibility. Or
Um,
Mysterio will return. Or Rhino's going to show up finally.
See, Rhino and Kingpin were the ones that I was thinking should return with it.
Kingpin won't. They have something for Kingpin, I think, because Marvel and Sony just greenlit 3 new movies after No Way Home. So I have because the guy who played Kingpin in the Netflix
Yeah,
has been announced as Kingpin some more. He is
Yeah, I have to look up,
reprising that role.
what's his name? He was in Full Metal Jacket.
He was also in Law and Order.
Yeah.
It starts with a V. I'll have to look him up. But the reprisal of him as Kingpin, he played a perfect Kingpin.
Oh yeah, definitely. Vincent D'Onofrio.
There we go. Sheer by size, attitude, wealth, and devotion. Kingpin is Batman in a sense with no suit, with just a lot of money and attitude. And just wants to hurt people and
control
take
everything.
over. Yeah. I know people are gonna fucking score me for that comment, but I don't care.
Well, two sides of the same coin. I mean, that's the thing with heroes and villains. A lot of them are two sides of the same coin.
But it will be interesting if Daredevil is announced to be in No Way Home in some way, shape, or form, and they go down the Kingpin issues. So that'd be interesting to see. And,
Be awesome. I know this won't happen, but retconning here. If they went really out there with splitting the multiverse, and all of a sudden we get some X-Men in there.
So, speaking of that, did you see that they're reprising X-Men 97, the animated series back from when we were
Yes.
kids?
Yeah, it's going
So-
on to Disney Plus, isn't it?
Yep. Well, Hugh Jackman was just talked back into reprising his role as Wolverine.
Just the voice, though.
No,
No.
no. So he's only made one statement about it, and a leaked letter from Disney came out and Marvel stating that they had reached a deal. I have to find that letter. I don't know if it had already got fucking wiped from the internet. But if it's in fact real, and Hugh Jackman will reprise Wolverine, that would be insane. Think about it. I mean, for all the stories that the X-Men have in New York with Spider-Man, Secret Wars was already announced. Secret Wars is how all the Marvel universes got slammed together in the first place. And that's how, originally, that's how Peter Parker got a hold of the symbiote in the comics, was in Secret Wars.
We are losing so many non-comic readers right now.
Oh my God. Please take the time. Hell, there's an app. Read the old Spider-Man comics. Just read them. Read that story. Stan Lee did something fantastic with that story. And my hope is, now that I know Fantastic Four is returning. Oh my God. And now that
are they rebooting it again, or
whole new cast? So they have a Doctor Doom in line, from my understanding. But I think they're going Galactus. They're going real Galactus. They're not going the fucking Cloud, as they did with.
Well, I thought Galactus was coming in Doctor Strange.
That's a theory. Nobody knows who is coming in Doctor Strange.
Okay.
My thing is, the Herald has not shown up on Earth. That is where is that if in the Book of Madness, if a Herald shows up, then then I would believe Galactus is coming.
So refresh my memory, because I never read the Fantastic Four comics. I only know from the movies and the cartoons. The Herald is the Silver Surfer, isn't it?
Yes, the original Herald. Well, one of many Heralds is the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer comes in, inspects a planet, life, how many people are on it, and then sends a message forthcoming to Galactus to start coming to feed. And then the first time around, the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards was who convinced Galactus not to eat Earth. He actually ate Ego, I think, at one time. That was interesting. But it's gonna be an interesting. And then World War Hulk was announced. And I want to know which fucking Hulk it's going to be. Is it going...
She-Hulk?
No. No. It is Hulk on its own planet. So we're going to see his kid, hopefully. We're going to see Hulk in full form of savagery. If they do World War Hulk correctly, it will erase whatever happened on Ragnarok. Because that was... I liked Ragnarok, don't get me wrong. Hulk as the champion. I was like, oh, this is what we're going to get for a pseudo World War Hulk. And then they announced they're going to attempt to give Hulk his solo film. Because I believe Universal lost the copyright, and Disney picked, and Marvel finally was able to recover the rights to Hulk. That's why they're able to do it, from my understanding. Because Universal still owned the rights to Hulk, like how Sony has the rights to Spider-Man.
So, not to get back to something deep, but to Kyle Rittenhouse, did you see the tweet that Mark Ruffalo made about him?
Fuck
He
him.
says, "We come together to mourn the lives lost to the same racist system that devalues black lives and devalues the lives of Anthony and JoJo." He actually called a freaking pedophile by a cutesy name.
I really hope Mark Ruffalo isn't going to be the Hulk. I really hope it
You know,
is
the
what's
thing
his-
is I respected him. As an actor, he's a great actor. He did not only this, he was also in Foxfire, which was about wrestling, and I had coaches that wrestled in Pennsylvania actually when DuPont murdered. Why can't I think of his name all of a sudden? Younger brother is Mark. John Schultz.
Yeah.
One of the greatest wrestlers in history, collegiate wrestlers in history.
You know,
I mean, and Mark Ruffalo did a great job as Schultz. And I mean, it wasn't true what happened to Mark and everything in the movie. They definitely dramatized a lot of that, but at the time that happened, one of my coaches, a good friend of mine, was actually at the camp. He didn't see it. He was away at their dorms, but he was there at the time that it happened.
yeah. I really hope. I don't know. I mean, he's in that camp with Alyssa Milano. I swear to God. I mean, she's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. Celebrities, they got away with so much when Trump was in office. Don't get me wrong. I will always say, I mean, Trump had a lot of wasn't the perfect president, but he did what he said he was going to do. So I give him that much credit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, we wouldn't have had a vaccine as fast as December if it wasn't for Operation Warp Speed, which Trump put into effect. So
Well, the thing is that's what the government can do. The government isn't there to lock people down or to protect life. The government is there to, okay, we're going to give a bunch of money to these people that develop stuff to develop them faster.
right?
Now, again, if it works for people, great. If it saves lives, great. But it shouldn't be the government you or threatening your job
No,
to take it.
but I would say we got time for one more. Well, let's go to. Let's talk about Miss Maxwell, Miss Jolene Maxwell.
So I'll be honest, I haven't totally been following this. Just basically what pops up
I
in the
honestly,
news
I'll to
feed.
be honest, I completely forgot about this up until the other day, when someone sent me a link that said, "Oh my God, our court hearing started the same day Kyle's verdict
Yeah.
happened."
So I guess
So it
today
was
they started selecting jurors.
jurors. Yeah. So then I saw people were complaining, "Oh, her trial isn't being broadcasted like Kyle's. We need to know what's happening." I said, "No,
It's
you
a
actually
federal
fucking
case.
don't want to. One, this is federal. Federal doesn't have television. You're gonna have sketch artists.
Yep.
So get over it." And I'm gonna be honest, you don't want video in there because you're gonna have a bunch of kids in there telling their story. Are you really going to want to sit and listen to hear about all the horrible things that this lady groomed them to fucking do on an island that had the U.S. couldn't do shit about?
Right. Right. Now there was some people, I guess, that didn't qualify, because like one person was from Arizona, which, like Michigan, and a few other states, the age of consent is 16, and she was
Yeah.
16 at the time. So there were people like that, and I think a couple from the UK was the same thing, that people were 16 or 17 and they couldn't be brought. But
the people that were at 16, they're still taking their testimony, because the fact that it is that they are tying them to the people that were actually going to the island. And before fucking anybody comes on and tells me that Trump was in that book, Trump never actually went to the island. He was never on flight records. When Trump found out, what it has been noted, once Trump found out what Epstein was done, he banned him from all resorts, from
he
any
broke
property.
contact with him. Yeah.
Yes, there's that one photo with him, with a girl, Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes.
That was like 2000 or 1999 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. There's photos of Clinton with Epstein on his plane. Same fucking thing then.
Right. You know, and the thing is so here's
There's
one of the
pictures
takes to
of
it.
hell. There's princes. There's royalty from,
You know,
what was it, Prince
you have
Andrew,
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, Will
And
Smith,
here's
Kanye. There's so many people that have been now named. It's retarded.
and here's the thing, with a lot of these and with Bill Gates and stuff, you take a person that Bill Gates is a nerd. He grew up a nerd. He's always been a nerd. And all of a sudden he's got money, he's got power.
Oh yeah.
And you have Epstein that says, "Hey, come fly out to my island." And on the way out, you know, he's got a bunch of girls hanging on him. Some underage, some of age. And he's getting pictures taken. And I think so much of Epstein, what kept him alive for so long, was the extortion he had on all these people.
Oh, the thing is,
You get enough
when his-
people in power,
when his
compromising pictures.
Yeah, when his name got brought up from the Black Book after Epstein was detained, and they were going through it, and people were getting their names released. I noticed when Gates's name was released, his divorce was shortly requested.
Yes.
Shortly after, and I was like, wow. His wife found out he's a pedophile and said, "Get the fuck out of my house." She took what, $5 billion of his money and just said, "Fuck you, I'm out." And
I can live off $5 billion for a while.
right? I don't have to work for a day of my life. Fuck. I'm just gonna go find a house and just take a nap. It's strange, all the names that have been released, but yet nobody wants to talk about it anymore. That's what made trying to find any information on this court case, because it's being done in New York, and because I was actually watching, what was it, Inside Edition this evening before the show started. They were talking to her, and because she's in jail, she is on no bond in jail. Someone has to come in and check on her every 15 minutes to make sure she has not committed suicide, because they don't need another Epstein issue.
Committed quote unquote suicide.
Yeah, quote unquote suicide.
If she wasn't
it may have been ruled as
suicided.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's it's gonna come out. Everything's gonna come out. Everything is gonna get flipped upside down. The question is, how much of it's gonna get buried once it's done? Is going to be the problem. And
Now, one thing I hope is that they release the actual transcript from the court case, from the testimonies.
that's the hope. I really hope that they do release those. I mean, I hope they don't do like JFK and just fucking keep delaying his release of his paper.
They were
I'm
supposed to be
sorry.
released this year, and Biden's the one delaying it.
That proves to be right there the government fucking whacked JFK.
Yeah.
Because Biden was a senator at the time when JFK was in office.
No,
Pelosi was.
because Biden got
No.
in office in '74. JFK was
Oh, okay.
assassinated in '68 or '69.
Yeah. And my theory is then that the Democrats at that time, because JFK's biggest threat was to drain the deep swamp, get rid of the deep state. Deep state got rid of JFK before he could do it. So my theory is that the government had him killed and they don't want people to know.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to happen with Maxwell. I really hope it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't. That
No, because we deserve. I don't want to know like all the, intimate sultry
details.
details. But what I want to know is how deep and who.
that is the thing. Who went to the island? Because she unfortunately was smart and kept very good records. Hence the Black Book. That's why it's there in the first place.
And you know what? Think about this. In all of film and literature, when has anything good ever happened when someone says, "Hey, come to my island"? When has anything happened on that? Hey, I have a private island. Come. Every villain is from.
I mean, look at Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Come to my island.
Come to
Where I
my
have
island. What can go
dinosaurs
wrong?
from 64 million years ago walking around freely on it. What? Why? No. I was watching my kid and I were watching National Geographic on Disney Plus, or Discovery Plus. They're talking about resurrecting the mammoth. I was like, you guys have been watching Jurassic Park way too much. Stop.
Yeah, that couldn't go wrong.
Don't do that. Don't do that. They're gone for a reason.
Now, something like the dodo bird, I could see.
No, it's dead. Let it go.
Yeah, but we killed it.
So it's gone. What did the dodo bird actually do in life? Nothing. Not a damn
that's
thing.
why that's why we were able to kill it so easily. I mean, it was basically like a chicken that couldn't run.
it was
Like,
food.
oh, hey, there's a dodo bird. I'm going to go up and club it.
Right. Yeah, let it go. And all. But, I mean, Miss Maxwell's got a lot of answers to give. I'm really hoping she's going to be forthcoming and not just sit there and plead the fifth. Because that's what she could do. She could sit there and plead the fifth the whole time.
Well, if she's smart, she's going to plead the fifth and not take the stand at all. The question isn't about her, it's what the other people are going to say. I don't think she's going to take the stand.
I don't think they could. I don't think the people in that book could afford her to take the stand. Her being in prison right now is being under guard from. I'm sorry, I will say this flat out, from the Clintons.
From the Clintons, yeah.
Anybody that has ever opposed Hillary in any way, shape, or form to her or her husband has magically fucking disappeared.
Somehow commit suicide by shooting yourself in the back of the head. Who was
or
that
magically
guy?
disappeared. So I will say this flat out. Miss Maxwell, please do us all a favor. Don't kill yourself. Get on the stand and be honest about it. You were wrong in every way, shape, or form. You groomed these people for favors, for blackmail.
Yeah.
You blackmailed the people that you were grooming these girls to deal with. And you've made millions off it.
Yeah.
And I will be watching. We will all be watching. So, just do us all a favor. Please. Just give everybody the closure they need. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say about that. All right.
You want me to land
Well,
us?
You're going to land us.
All right. Actually, before I do, let's tell people how they can contact us. Or I can do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
All right. Don't forget to email us by sending your emails to firetalknetwork@gmail.com. Visit our website at firetalkradio.com. Give us a voice message. Leave us a call. Tell us what we did wrong at 814-380-9820. That's 814-380-9820. All right, everybody. Want to thank you again for flying with Fire Talk Radio this week. To the people in the back that got ejected, it was over water. I just want to let everyone else know. And we did throw them some blow-up floaties so that they can hopefully survive. We're not heartless, but it was a 32,000-foot drop. So good luck to them. To the people up front, I want to thank you for defending yourself with hollow point bullets, because as we learned in the Rittenhouse trial, hollow point bullets don't go through people. They explode. They don't really explode. But thank you again for using the hollow points so that the whole place didn't explode. We will be landing here safely in our destination in approximately 2 minutes. And be sure to thank your flight attendants. They worked really hard to keep you hydrated without being able to give you coffee. And since we have the moronic virus going around, they kind of sweated their balls off wearing full PPE and rebreathable suits and everything. So they work really hard on your behalf to keep themselves safe and to keep you safe. To the person up front that coughed once, he got ejected. Just want to let everyone know, so he won't be spreading the moronic virus. He's been ejected for that cough. We will see you next week on the flight back. You guys have a great one.
We can only count to four. 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 Numbers, lots of numbers.
Music provided by Psychostick.
Something strange in the neighborhood. Who you call Ghostbuster? Something weird, don't look good. Who to call Ghostbuster?